What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to do my review slash recap of today of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. Mainly, we're going to be talking about Dr. Curry, who spoke. Obviously, she was the one who did one gigantic evaluation of Amber Heard, and holy Jesus, was it something. This, the title obviously suggests, and I'm suggesting, this could have been the worst look. Even Johnny Depp got to tell his freaking story, right? He got to come out there and say, hey, this would happen to my finger, and I mean, that was gruesome, and she threw this, and all of these things that obviously made Amber Heard look really, really bad, right? There's no doubt about it. This one makes her at least look the most unhinged out of any witness we've had so far, and even Johnny Depp himself. I mean, is this girl, she knows her stuff. The first 10 minutes of the first direct, right, was just talking about her credentials, all of the things that she studied, and just, it was boring, but, well, it was interesting if you're into that field, but it gives her, and she is brought in as a credible, this is somebody who knows their stuff, and she tore it up, diagnosing Amber with 2 different personality disorders. Everything described, here's the biggest kicker. Everything that was brought up, even when, the crazy cat lady lawyer of Amber went and talked to her, even when she was kind of getting her in a rhythm of, well, isn't this a symptom of abuse? Isn't this a thing? Isn't this a thing? Isn't this a thing? Even during those moments, that was actually talking about Johnny Depp. That wasn't even talking, well, you can make the inference that was talking about Johnny Depp, not Amber Heard. And even in the moments of, obviously, her being attacked by Amber's side, she still squeezed in, well, it is more common for, Amber, I guess the women, right, for them to do this versus men. It actually does make more sense for Amber to do this. I mean, it was killer, the stuff that happened. And then even when she was trying to get her of, hey, well, this guy who did the evaluation on Amber, well, he had 40 years of research, and or were you just ignoring them when they all reported that Amber had said, and they all believe Amber when she talks about the domestic violence that Johnny Depp starts, and then the cross, or the redirect, the redirect back with Johnny's side was it was 10 minutes, I don't even know, 10, 15 minutes long, so short, but so to the point. Number one, can you explain some of these small little things that, that they kind of got you on? And number two, can you talk about all of those doctors and all those physicians that they brought up? Should they be trusted? And basically, and the answer is, well, she says, well, they really shouldn't have gone up and testified or did a deposition or anything because they're basically required, or it would be unethical of them to go against Amber Heard. So these people that are, they're the employers of Amber, they're supposed to listen to her, believe her story. That's their job, is to believe her story. That's their job, to do treatments based off of what she says. They don't interview Johnny Depp. They don't take a look at the entire thing. They have to be one-sided. And then for them to go up on court and say, well, I believe her, he obviously did it, that's unethical, because you're supposed to believe her. So how about you take somebody, and yes, this girl, this doctor was hired by Johnny Depp's team to do an evaluation, but she did say, she wasn't going in with, she knew what they were hoping to find, but that didn't impact anything. She did, whatever the tests that were mentioned today, and the abbreviations of them, there's no way I can, come up with them, but I think one of them was 574 either questions, or that was a testing model. I mean, she did however long she said. She did a 2-day session, let's say 10 hours average. I mean, she did so much with Amber, and you're not gonna fake that. You know what I mean? You did a freaking actual trial on this woman, and you concluded basically she exaggerates everything. The best hits against Amber today is that she exaggerates. She will downplay her own mental issues. She'll pretend like there's nothing wrong with her in terms of what she can project on others, but then when it comes to her own trauma, she grossly over-exaggerates. I think she said the 98th percentile of that group. So, which is a nice way of saying she lies. She lies during the test. If she and that was also brought up, if she knew the questions that were coming, she could she would feign, whatever the phrase is. She'd fake it. I mean, feign, I think, is a nicer way of saying it. She would fake the answer. So she would overplay or underplay things depending on if she knew kind of where it was going. If she didn't know where it was going, it actually kind of leveled out and it made more sense. So, I mean, it was awful. Like, this is such a bad look because, again, if you're looking at it from Amber's side, you really proved nothing. There's nothing you could get out of it. The only thing, again, you could stumble her on was, well, he paid for you, so maybe you have like a biasness, I guess. You also have, well, you have all of these high credited. They've been in the field for 500 years. They're like 900 years old doctors. You know, they all believe Amber. Why don't you? Well, it's because they're supposed to believe Amber. In fact, if they didn't believe Amber, that wouldn't fly. So you can't get her on that. And then everything kind of brought up in her the evaluation, let's say, of Amber was horrible. Was that she has two personality disorders, basically, where things are everything about herself. That's the effects of these disorders is that she over-exaggerates. She is clingy. She doesn't like people leaving. It's all about her. She'll over-exaggerate some things. She'll under-exaggerate other things. And the only thing is, and this isn't even that, because we can kind of fill in the blanks, you know, the doctor that was on the stand, she can't make the claim that it was purposeful. Basically, it was like she could be doing it without realizing it. In terms of this disorder, she could do it without realizing it. It could be like malicious, like a malicious intent, like she knew what she was doing with Johnny Depp the whole time, or maybe she didn't. But here's the thing: you can't use personality disorders to excuse, number one, I guess, the behavior, and number two, the point of the court case. So there were people, I guess, asking in Nick Rekieta's stream, like, well, could this make her, you know, I mean, could you almost say she's a victim here because of these disorders to the jury and say, well, hey, look, she was going through all this stuff, she had these disorders, and he was doing this stuff. Like, could you play that out? And his answer was basically, no, that doesn't excuse the defamation. And honestly, that wouldn't even matter, because what we learned from today is Amber's side, and this is probably obvious, right? Their counter was to discredit and basically say, what was funny is if you really boiled it down, their argument was, you're pathetic, you shouldn't even have a job, right? You have to be mean when you're doing cross, right? You're trying to break through all of the stuff. You're trying to make your side look good. But, you know, it's like, hey, all that research that you did all those years in school, all of the past 10, 12 years of you suck. You're the worst in the world. You're biased. You don't take into account all of this stuff. So you have to say that. And then you have to say also, and this is what they did, she has no problems whatsoever. And if she does have problems, they're only the good problems. They're only the trauma because of him, not because of anything else. And that was another thing that she was trying to say on stand, and Crazy Cat Lady attorney wasn't letting her, and then she kind of slipped a couple times and let her talk too much, and she kind of got it out. Some of the abuse, some of the long-term effects mentally that I think even clinically proven does plague Amber Heard. You can't even show that it happened during Johnny Depp's time, because she showed those kind of things to a different person before that relationship, and she had very similar things. And so she could have been, those kind of mental scarrings, the real ones, the ones she actually has, could have been from childhood and could have been from past we know she's had fun in past relationships, getting arrested and all this kind of stuff. So it doesn't even have to be Johnny Depp. And she was saying that, and then she kind of, she would get cut off because that doesn't look very good, right? That it has to be Johnny Depp. Nobody else has ever done anything to Amber, and Amber has done nothing else to anybody in her entire life, including sometimes Johnny Depp, but also other times she's never hurt him. But then she has, but it's only when he hurt her first, except for the times when she said that she hurt. So none of it works. So this was good. I mean, like I said, this is somebody who's got the credentials, who's got the credibility, who laid into her. This is a messed up person who I will take the step to say, I believe that she knew exactly what she was doing. She does have issues, but she plays into them. She can be over aggressive. She can flip out on a second's notice. She can, if you're late, that was a big thing. If you're late to anything, or she kind of feels like undervalued, she flips. And that's a trait of these disorders. It's like, you got her. Everything that described when she was saying, well, here's the traits, and they weren't talking about Amber. here's the traits of somebody with this disorder. Here's the traits of somebody with this disorder. They didn't have to say her name. She was giving examples of what those people do, clinging, grabbing, not letting people leave a room if they want to go, and they say, no, please stay, or you stay. They grab onto them. All the examples that she said out loud is what we've heard for 2.5 weeks that Amber did to Johnny. And then again, when it was reversed, when it was in cross, some of the causes or symptoms, right, of like abuse, they were describing all of Johnny's symptoms. So when she was saying, hey, can you do this if you feel scared and all this stuff? Yes. All of those things describe Johnny Depp. Now, they wanted to describe Amber, but we've heard that it describes Johnny very well. Very well. And the other stuff we've heard describes Amber. So it was a big L. Big L today. Big L quite a few different days. But this was a good one. And she knew what she was talking about. She didn't really get rattled too much. Very, very good. That was a prime witness. Everybody, I think, did whoever that lawyer, I haven't seen him yet, as this is the first time that he's done stuff for Johnny. That lawyer that asked her the questions and then came back on redirect, he was great. He was kind of weak in objections. Really, there were objections that he got right, and then some of them he let go, and he was okay. But like, he was, I think, overall in terms of his questioning, he was phenomenal. Maybe one of the better ones that Johnny Depp has. I don't know if we'll see him again. We definitely should. The guy we had yesterday, the young boy kid that was for Johnny's side, he was bad. He was probably the worst one of Johnny Depp's group. So hopefully we don't see him again, but hopefully we see this guy again. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, now this is just it's 1:15, so we're gonna get my time. So all the time zones are different. We have like an hour and a half left. It's a deposition, so it's gonna be recording. Okay, in terms of the last little part. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, but I want to talk about the meat and potatoes, is that a saying, of today's case. So let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon. Obviously, I do this every day. We'll recap / review tomorrow, Thursday, so on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.